Of what health issues may arise because of hormone imbalance. Good morning and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You know, we were talking during the commercial that it's just not something that's discussed very often. It's discussed about females much more than it is men. Why is that?
We just forget about you guys,
Yeah,
right? Like,
easily forgettable,
suck
right?
it up, you're fine.
Yeah.
No, it's just I think we don't know any different, or maybe men don't know any different, or they've went in and they've had all this lab work drawn and told, oh, it's fine, you're normal, everything's well. But what they don't know is some of those ranges that claim you're normal go from 90 to 500. That's literally one of the lab values. So like we talked about, if you're 91 or 92,
you're fine.
You're fine.
You're falling within the range.
Exactly, but we don't look at you as a patient. How are you feeling? And let's break that down a little bit further and see if we can adjust some of those levels, bring them up or bring them down to get you feeling more optimal, more well, and have you feeling more throughout your day, just being well.
How much of it has to do with, and again, you and I grew up in the same a generation ahead of you, but we grew up in the same part of the country where men don't complain.
No.
You suck it up, you pull up your boots by the straps and you go. How much of it has to do with, I don't want to say male ego, but men have been trained that even though you may not feel well, boy, you're nodding a lot, you know where I'm going, you just go with it.
You just go with that. I think huge part of it is that, and we have to change that because so many are struggling, and I see it, or I hear it from their spouses or their significant others of how they're just not feeling well. They're not talking about it, or it takes a lot for them to go into that office. They get there, and you know me, I love my word gaslit, and they get medically gaslit and told everything's fine and there's nothing wrong and sent out the door. Then I've even had this happen where I will then see them and they don't want to even go get their lab drawn at that facility because they don't want to even see they don't want that healthcare provider that saw them the first time to know that they're getting seen again and having a redraw.
They feel like they're cheating
on somebody, and I'm like, we must break this. This is not, you're not married to your healthcare provider. You need to have this team approach to your health.
Okay, when we talk about male hormones, what are some of the things that male hormones that are affected by them?
Yeah, your sleep. Your stress levels, and when I say stress levels, I feel like I'm cussing. It's cortisol, so cortisol is the main thing to blame. How are you eating? Are you skipping meals? Like, are you somebody who's going and eating one meal a day? You're maybe having one snack. We have to regulate your glucose levels and insulin levels throughout the day too, because that impacts hormones. And then there's just your hormones in general that shift with age. Maybe there's some underlying medical condition that's been missed over the years too. Your hormones just shift too. They just shift on a daily, kind of like females do. And those three things together can really cause this cascade or storm to happen. But not getting proper sleep, caffeine, nicotine. And then there's also the supplement side of it too. There's so many things out there that are over the counter that men and women can have access to that negatively impact or...
For example, like what?
Yeah, there's some, I won't say names of places or things, but there's some male hormones and products you can get that are over the counter, but they totally drop. For example, if a male's coming to me for fertility, they have no idea that what they took all those years ago negatively impacts their fertility years later. And so it's being aware of those things, asking questions if you are buying them from stores or online, if you're getting things online, like, and you want to have children in the future, or if that is something you're not sure of, asking those hard questions like, will this negatively impact my fertility down the road? Or will this stop my testosterone levels from doing their job naturally if I take this? And so it's being aware of these things we have access to.
And it is awareness, because I think 99% of the people wouldn't think to ask these kind of questions.
Nope. Or even thinking like, if you're in your 20s, you're probably, and not married or have a girlfriend, you're not thinking of those things. And we have to be asking those questions because you don't know 10 years down the road where you'll be at.
You touched on this a little while ago, that your body is telling you one thing, the lab report, the lab results are telling you something else. What do? You're not feeling well, but you're told everything is fine.
Follow that gut. You are with your body 24/7. You know if something's wrong or isn't right. keep finding and asking those questions. Find a different provider, get a second, third, or fourth opinion. Look at alternative things. A lot of testing I do in my practice is not what's done traditionally in a different office. And so there is home tests too. There's so many home tests you can buy online. I even use it in my fertility practice. There's a lot of semen kits that you can do from home, so men don't have to go into clinics in these uncomfortable situations for lab draws and those types of things as well. You can do a lot of this at home.
Okay. I would imagine that hormonal imbalance can affect you both physically and mentally, and the mental part is probably even worse because we know how we feel, but when we're goofed up, for lack of a better term, in the mind, it's something we're not very aware of all the time in the steps we should be taking.
And some of it is just you're so fatigued, you're so tired, and you think it's my job, it's my day, it's this, when really, almost always I see it's cortisol and it's hormone imbalance that play a role. So yes, your job and you're busy and you have a lot going on has a lot to do with it. We just don't even think, maybe I should get this checked. Maybe there's something else going on. And almost always there is little dials, I say, we can adjust to make you feel better, make you sleep better, or help you sleep better. And lifestyle things we can implement that are very easy, eating more protein, adjusting our sleep hygiene, and other things we can implement that will help those all kind of fall back into normal parameters.
So basically what I'm hearing you say, not always, but sometimes, correcting that is a simple fix, and it's not something that you have to be on a medication for or anything like that.
No, and there's a lot of people want natural things nowadays too, and a lot of providers just don't understand or they're not comfortable with it, and I think finding a nice balance of that can really help. What are some natural things we can implement if you are on prescriptions that are safe so they don't interact, and where is a happy medium between having levels that are dangerous that you might need medications temporarily for, and then we can wean those off later. So I always bring that into the picture too. You might temporarily need some prescription stuff, but we can always pull that back, wean you off of that too. And that goes for mental health a lot too. Like a lot of patients are scared or don't want to be on prescriptions, or they have failed prescriptions, and we can put them on temporarily, try some different ones, work on some things on the background, and then bring those down or off later.
We're almost out of time, but I have a question. How important is it, and we talked about it at the top, patients are often afraid to step on toes. How important is it to, if you're not getting the results or answers that you feel you should be getting, how important is a second opinion?
Very 100% important. You need to do it tomorrow, because if you're not feeling well and you feel like something's off and wrong, it is. And that's what you have to go with and believe in. There's someone out there that will believe you and will take the extra steps to dig a little bit deeper, try something different, do a different approach.
All right. Like you said, go with your gut instinct.
Go with your gut. Always.
Listen to what your body's telling you.
Always.
All right. Simply You Wellness. Where do we find you, doctor?
You can find us at 311 North Mandan Street, and you can find us online as well at simplyyouclinic.com and on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Sounds great, Dr. Tara Brender. We appreciate you coming in, and thanks for being here.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break.